Yes, welcome students to the next class on accounting for share capital. In previous class, we have just seen how the accounting procedure is taken and how the accounts records are maintained. In today's class, we'll see for a simple journal entry when shares are issued at par. Now we all know that shares issued at par means that the company is going to issue the shares at the same face value. There is no extra charge on the issue of shares. Now we are having a problem saying Excellent Company Limited issued 30,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. The amount of rupees 10 was payable 2 rupees on application, 3 rupees on allotment and 5 rupees on first and final call. All the shares were subscribed and money duly received with except final call on 2,000 shares. The directors forfeited these shares and reissued them at rupees 7 per share. So now in the previous notes when I had given you all, I had said that you have to remember a simple trick saying that application money is first credited then debited, allotment is debited and credited, share call is debited and credited, where cash is always debited and capital is always credited. So these entries, how they work or how they are appearing, we'll see in the next journal entry. So we have the format of journal. So we are having the journal, you write date or serial numbers. We take serial numbers because we do not know the date of issue and when the accounting records are made. So we write date or serial number. So first journal entry, you are having cash or bank account debit. Now whenever the application is made, whenever the public is applying for the shares, they have to pay certain amount which is to be paid by them for applying. So cash or bank account is debited to share application account. So you are issuing 30,000 shares. The rate per share is 2 rupees. So on application, company is collecting 2 rupees. So the number of shares issued into the amount that is to be paid on application has to be multiplied. We will get the total amount received, that is 60,000. So your journal entry will be bank account debit to share application 60,000 each. Narration, application money received. Now coming to the second. In the second entry, the amount of application received has to be transferred towards the capital. So to make that transfer, we write application account is debited to share capital. It is 60,000 and 60,000. So whatever amount is received in the application, that amount has to be transferred to the capital. So it is 30,000 into 2. So you can see in first entry application account is credited, and in second entry the application is credited. So we have to remember application money is debit or credit and debit. Now coming to the allotment. So allotment means you are going to transfer the shares in the name of the shareholders. So on this process, company collects the amount again. So allotment account is debited. It is on 30,000 shares at the rate of rupees 3 per share. So 30,000 into 3, it is 90,000. Now this amount is collected for the purpose of company's capital. So share allotment account is debited to share capital 90,000. By mistake it is written as 60, it should be 30. So don't take this. It is to be cancelled. Next, you are having the receipt for allotment. So when allotment amount is paid, you have to write cash or bank account debit 90,000 to share allotment. So on allotment you have called 3 rupees, so total receipt should be 90,000. So you can see on allotment, first entry it is debited and in second entry it is credited. Now coming for the third one, that is for making the call. Share call account is debited. So company makes the call after allotment as and how the money is required. So you are having share call account is debited to share capital. 30 into 5, your amount should be 1,50,000. Your amount should be 1,50,000 on both the sides. It should be 1,50,000. So you are having 30,000 into 5, which gives us 1,50,000. Which gives us 1,50,000. 1,50,000. So this 1,50,000 should be debited and credited. Next, you have the amount for the receipt of call. So you are having cash or bank account is debited to share call account. Now when you are receiving cash, when you are receiving the amount, always cash or bank account is debited. So you are having cash or bank account which is debited to share call account, that is 1,40,000. Now how this 1,40,000 came? See, if we have total shares is 30,000. From this 2,000 shares have not paid. The last line in the problem, you will say that 3,000 shares have not paid. So 30,000 minus 2, you will get 28,000. So in all, only 28,000 people are paying rupees 5 per share. So you will have 28,000 into 5, we will get 1,40,000. So this 1,40,000 is the actual cash received by the company on the call that has made. So you don't have 30,000 shares which are going to be paid. You will have only 28,000 shares paid. So share call account is debited and the second entry will be on the credit side for only the amount which is actually received by the company. Now we are going to cancel the shares which are being forfeited. Now those shares only are to be taken for which the amount is not paid. So we are having only 2,000 shares which have not paid the final call. So I will take this amount whenever I am going to cancel. So when I am cancelling, share capital has to be debited. Why I have to debit? Because here I am cancelling. Always the share capital appears on the credit side till the 6 entries. But only when cancellation is done, because of cancellation of rights of the shareholders, capital account is debited. So share capital account is debited. You will have the total amount of unpaid shares is 2,000. So 2,000 per share it is 10 rupees. The face value of per share is 10 rupees. So 2000 into 10 gives me 20,000. Now why it is cancelled? Because it is not receiving the first and final call. So what is the first and final call on 2000 shares? It is 10,000. Now 2 forfeited shares I have to write. Now when I am writing 2 forfeited shares, I should take the amount of difference between the debit and credit. 20,000 minus 10,000 will come 10,000. So you can verify this how it is. Now out of 40,000 shares, 20,000 is not this paid, or else if I take the total amount paid on these forfeited shares is 2 rupees on application and 3 rupees on allotment. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So total amount paid on these forfeited shares is 5. So it is 10,000. So here the shares gets cancelled. So note that whenever capital is debited only at the time of forfeitures, because rights are cancelled, and therefore even if shares are issued at a premium, sometimes shares are issued at premium, even when it is issued at premium, we should only consider the face value, not the premium amount. Now these forfeited shares are reissued. So now when it is reissued, problem says that these 2,000 shares are reissued at rupees 7. So the amount of unpaid shares, that is 2,000 shares into rate per share, that is 7 per share. 2,000 into 7 gives me 14,000. Next, if you see, there is a difference between the issue value and the reissue value. There is a discount of rupees 3. So on forfeited shares, I should record the amount of discount given for reissue. So 2000 into 3 gives me 6000. Next, to forfeited share capital, that is already we are having 2000 shares. So these 2000 shares have to be multiplied by 10. I will get 20,000. So by mistake it is written 4. While editing there is a mistake, so it should be 2000. It should be 2000 shares. It should be 2000 into 10, which gives me 20,000. So forfeited shares reissued at rupees 7 as fully paid. Next, you are having forfeited share account is debited to capital reserve. Now if we see the debit side and credit side of forfeited share, on the credit side in the cancellation you can see it is credited with 10,000, and when it is reissued on the debit side the discount amount is recorded, that is 6,000. So 10 minus 6 gives me 4,000, which is a capital profit and has to be transferred to capital reserve. So last entry will be forfeited share account debit to capital reserve. So I hope it is clear. We'll see one more problem on premium in the next class. Till then, be safe. Thank you.